Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today with me, Gulo from JadiPNS. Now we have a speaker, a young people coming from Somaliland, and her name is Ubah Ali. Ubah Ali was listed in BBC 100 Women 2020, and she's also co-founder of Solace for Somaliland Girls Foundation. Currently, she's studying at the American University of Beirut. So let's welcome Ubah Ali. Hello, Ubah Ali. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you doing? Thank you so much for having me.
I'm doing good. Yes, thank you so much for sharing your stories here in JDPNS. It's an honor for us to hear your inspiring story, how you can be Ubah Ali right now.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, Ubah Ali, would you like to tell a little bit about yourself from your childhood and until right now?
Yeah, sure. And I'm going to share my screen with you so you guys
Mhm.
can like see some pictures and yeah.
Yeah. So guys, if you
Uh,
have any questions, you can drop your question in the live chat YouTube. So we are going to ask Ubah Ali about her inspiring story.
Thank you so much, Jaya. So basically, my name is Oba. I am from Somaliland. I grew up in Somaliland in a town called Bur'o. I was educated also in Somaliland. So when also for high school, I went to a school called Aparso. Um, and I have 7 siblings, and I'm the oldest. So you could
Uh,
imagine I have so much responsibility.
yes, you have so much responsibility in your family.
Yeah. And so, yeah, for my education, and as I said before, I was educated in Somaliland. And for my high school, I went to this school called Abarsa School, which is founded by an American uh, head manager. And most of the teachers in that school are also from the US, and from maybe some of them are from Europe. Um, yeah, and that's where I learned English. And after that, my last year of high school, I went to a school called Miss Hall School, which is in Boston. It's like in a small town near Boston, called Pittsfield. And after that, I came back to Somaliland, where I did 1 year of internship while I was applying to
Mm-hmm,
schools.
mm-hmm.
And I am still like, this is my last semester. I'm studying at the American University of Beirut, with a full scholarship covered by MasterCard. I'm studying political science and international law. And after this, because this is my last semester, I'm hoping to get into a graduate school where I can continue my master's education.
All right. Ubah Ali,
Yes.
so your study is currently funded by the MasterCard Foundation. How you
Yeah.
came up with the Master Foundation, and what's your advice for young people who want to apply for this scholarship, and uh, which countries they are covered by this scholarship?
Thank you so much. For the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship, it's mainly focuses on the young people in Africa who do not get the opportunities to go to school or to fund their
Mm-hmm.
education. So mainly students who are coming from the African countries are eligible to apply, but also students who are refugees who live in Lebanon and who are currently residing also in Lebanon, who are from Palestine or Syria, are also eligible to apply. And if you go to the website of MasterCard Foundation, you could see the eligibility and which countries that students should come from in order to be eligible for the MasterCard Foundation. So the MasterCard Foundation covers everything, um, from your tuition, and they also give you a stipend. They also pay your housing. So like basically they cover everything, which is a very generous, um, and of them, because you don't have to worry about working, or you don't have to worry about getting other sources of income, but it covers basically everything to your education.
All right, thank you, Ubah Ali. And what is your advice for those who want to apply? I mean, like, do you have a tips how to get succeeded as a awardee for the scholarship?
Yes, the first things that you have to be passionate about what you want to study. You have to also be an active member in your community. When I mean active member, you have to always be engaged what's happening in your community, always trying to solve a ways that you could help and inspire people in your country. And you should also have a driving mission, which is to give back. So even after you graduate from university, you have to be willing to support your community, always come up with a solutions that you could impact the community in your country. So always, you have to know what you want to do in the future, basically. And giving back, it's a very important component for the Mastercard scholarship, because they want to change the next generation of these countries, the African countries or elsewhere. So yeah, you should be passionate about this leadership and giving back components in order to be eligible, at least, to be awarded to this scholarship.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So what am I passionate about? These are my hobbies. So I really like basketball, and
You.
also gym a lot. I also like music, especially Somali
Mhm.
music. Also, I really like teaching. When I was in high school, I always used to tutor children, either from orphanage or from the local community where my school was located. So I really like teaching, and also reading is something that I'm passionate about, because this is where I get my inspiration. This is where I get the knowledge that I could at least use to transform and impact my community.
Mhm.
Um, and one important element that that's a part of my identity is helping others while not expecting anything in return. Because for me, I really like to touch the hearts of others. I always like to help those people who are vulnerable. um, yeah, so it's something that's embedded within my values, helping and taking care of others who are in need. That's about me. So currently I am in Somaliland, and in 2018, I co-founded an organization called Solace for Somaliland Girls. So before we go into that, I want to explain to you what FGM is, and why I chose this specific issue in order to combat and eliminate the horrific part of FGM. So in Somaliland, 98% of the women are survivors of FGM, or you can call it are victims of FGM. So what's FGM? And FGM is a ritual cutting or removal of some or all external female genitalia. So it's a practice where women are being circumcised. So in the world, there are about 30 countries that still practice FGM. And there are 4 different types of FGM, and people say that they have different, levels of pain and levels of impact. But at the end of the day, they all carry similar impact. Um, and Somaliland is among one of those 30 countries that still practice FGM. So in 2018, with the support of my friends, we co-founded an organization called Solace for Somaliland Girls, which is a nonprofit organization based in Somaliland, which aims to empower and educate people about the dangers of FGM and why this practice should be eliminated as soon as possible. So mainly we target the youth, because at least we believed in the power of the youth, and we believe in they could change something about the next generation of this country, because FGM is strongly embedded within the culture of the Somali community. So it's very hard to change the narratives and the conceptions of the older people. So that's why we are working with high school students, we are working with university students. So at least at the end of the day, after a few years or 10 years, when they become parents, at least they will be aware of this practice, so they will not do to their children. And we held different activities, online campaigns, um, awareness campaigns, where we invite young people, where we invite doctors and religious figures in the country, where they can speak about this issue publicly, and they can at least, tell people and educate them why the Somali community in Somaliland should stop this practice, because it's not good for women, not good for the community and humanity in general. So these are some of the events that we held. You could see there are, of course, young men and young women who join our movement. And because when you hear about FGM, it's because it affects women. It's not a woman's issue, it's a human rights issue, and it's humanity issue. So we should like collectively work together to eliminate this, because we need the support of young men, we need the support of women, so we can transform a strong momentum movement, where at least we can safeguard and protect the basic rights of the next generation of Somali women. So you could see, and from the pictures, that we have a long way to go, because a lot of people might not support our movement, but we believe in the power of the youth. We believe in that change, especially ideological change, to take some time. So we start with something small, and our mission is to make sure that in the future, we at least save some individuals, some young girls who have hope, who have dreams. And even if we don't succeed, at least we are pretty sure the next generation after us will carry our movement and will carry this with a strong momentum, where they could change the lives of others. Yeah, so that's like why, that's my story. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Ubah Ali, for sharing session. Became a victim of what happened at that moment, if you still remember.
Thank you so much. So I am a survivor of FGM, just like many other girls in my country, because 98% of the young women in my country are survivors of FGM. So by the time I went through FGM, of course, I was young, I was 6 years old. I might not remember all the details, but of course, it was a horrific nightmare. And I still like recall some of the memories, because I remember like the circumciser, the lady who was cutting me, coming into my house, and carrying her box full of knives and all of these things. So I still remember, and I recall those memories sometimes. But because at that time I was told that it's a process where you will that could purify you, because before you were not pure enough, or you were not clean enough, but after you were being cut, you will be a strong woman, you will be clean, and now just like other women. So when I was being cut, it was early in the morning. I remember my mom like making sure that I took a shower, where everyone was happy, because it's a little celebration, because you're like basically you are moving from childhood, in their sense, to adulthood. So everyone was happy, they were celebrating. But of course, as a young girl who was just 6 years old, I had like I was anxious, But of course, I cannot do anything about it because I have seen my
Mm-hmm.
friends from school, from the Quranic school I used to go, who also like went through the same thing. So I was like, it's the fate of every young Somali girl. So I have to be like that, and I have to be clean because I was being told like, make sure that you go through this so you will be a strong woman, and like a pure woman. So it was like a combination of happiness and also anxiety, because you have too many conflicting ideology at the end of the day. And as a young girl, you don't know what's what, because you don't know what they are cutting, you don't even know what they're doing to you. So you just have to make sure that you are passive and you just do whatever they tell you to do.
All right. Thank you so much, Ubah Ali. And then when we are going to talk about Solace for Somaliland Goals Foundation, how do you create team for this platform? I mean, like how you find your team and how you gather and how you run that, because you're still, studying at the college right now.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a bit hard, honestly, because when you are a student and you're trying to
Mm-hmm.
have a social impact, but it's all
Mm-hmm.
about the belief, and it's all about the energy that you have inside that wants make sure that that you are keep functioning at the end of the day. So we started in
Mm-hmm.
2018, and all of the co-founders we were all studying at the American University of Beirut, and we were just talking about the different issues that African
Mm-hmm.
countries are going through, because we are all from different African countries. Two of them are from Rwanda, and two, including me, are from Somaliland. So we're just talking about ways that we could impact our continent. We can help and make sure that the African countries localize their issue. So we came out together and we're like, we have to apply for a fund and like start from somewhere. So we applied to this organization that supports the social ventures or social impact um, projects. It's called the Resolution Project. And when we applied, we went to Rwanda and we started to pitch our idea, and
Mm-hmm.
we won. And they gave
Mm-hmm.
us some funding to start our initiative.
Yay.
Um, yeah, and also we had mentors who could
Mm-hmm.
like mentor us and help us that
Mm-hmm.
throughout the journey. So like, of course, it was the beginning of a long journey for us, but they were the pioneers who made sure that our dreams came valid, and at least we had somewhere that we can lean on if we have struggles, if we go through
Mm-hmm.
some cultural challenges, because our mentors were always there for us. And also, like, when it comes to funding, if we need to do something, at least we could use the small money that the Solution Project awarded us. And yeah, that's how we came and we built a strong team, at least. And of course, we have challenged and we face so many challenges, but because of the strong system we created, and because of the the value and what we believe in and the impact we want to make, we always try to overcome those obstacles and make sure that we see the good side of what we are doing.
Thank you so much, Ubali. You just mentioned about resolution project. Would you like to share us what resolution project is looking for as their grantees, and what's your tips for those who?
Yeah, the Resolution Project, it's basically an international organization which helps young entrepreneurs or young individuals who want to make a social impact in their countries. And it's for everyone. Usually, like, they will post in their website or on their social media, or this month or this few months we're going to focus on that part of the world, that side of the world. So they will like open a competition platform for everyone where you can apply, and yeah, you can pitch your idea. And yeah, it's not only for Africans or like any specific individuals, it's for everyone, but they usually
Mhm.
focus on each part of the world in a different way. So if you want to know more about it, you can check on their website and see, even it's even those students who live in the US, those even though Americans could apply. So it's for everyone. So you can always check on their website and know, and if there are like eligible countries or eligible, group of people that could apply. So it's like it's about this the cycle. So because sometimes they focus on African countries, sometimes they focus on the Asian countries, Europe or America or South America. So it's you can always check on their website to know more information.
Thank you so much. Now we are back to your platform. Is Solace for Somaliland Goals Foundation. What
Mhm.
are the challenges that you and your team find right now running this platform?
There are so many challenges. Some of the challenges that we face every day, it's the cultural challenge, because in my country, FGM is embedded with the cultural ideology and the cultural practices that my community have been valuing for so long. So when you try to start something that's against the culture, it's very hard because it's creates this cultural sensitivity. So you will hear a lot of people who are telling you, why are you talking about this? That's none of your business. People have been doing it for so long, because
Mhm.
FGM and has been like everyone, like my grandma, her great grandmother, like everyone went through this. So when you try to start something that's against their belief, it's just like, oh, you're against your whole identity. And also culture and religion are intertwined in my country, because people don't know what the religion says or what the culture says. So whenever something you mention about culture, of course they will attack you because, oh, you are against the religion, because they don't know the difference, because a lot of people, they are not educated, they are not experts of the religion. So because they are living the word of mouth, that kind of century. So it's very hard to navigate that kind of environment, because it can be very toxic sometimes. Because when you are trying really hard to make sure that girls are protected, but still you have a bunch of individuals that are against your ideology, sometimes you will be this motivated. um what else? Yeah, and the other challenge is, um and like, challenging, trying to influence people and in your country. Even some of the women are supporters of FGM. So because they were being told, it's a way that they could keep and clean and have their virginity for so long. So sometimes it's very hard, honestly, because of the culture, because of the behavior of the individuals, because of everything. It's sometimes hard, but as I said before, it's all about the belief. It's all about making sure that people are educated, because education is the only way that we could um, reconstruct and redefine what the culture and religion says about FGM. And education is the only way that people could at least raise their voice, and also empowering young women, so they could at least know that they can protect themselves without going through FGM.
Thank you, Ubah Ali. And there is question from the live chat YouTube from Vivaldi Raksanagara. Is going to ask about women right and how do you change the culture that already established?
Um, Thank you so much. So in my country, I would say women's rights are not even there, because women are always treated as second-class citizens, because of the culture, because of the normalized cultural ideology, that women were being told where they belong to. It's very hard, of course, to challenge that, but also there are women are not actively visible in politics. They are not actively visible in other sectors of the community. So because if you're a woman in my country, like, you have limited options. You are a housewife, you belong to the kitchen, for example. So like we are like centuries behind, but we believe in even those Western countries or those other countries that made sure that their women were going through schools and they were gaining some sense of respect from the community. Some of these countries went through the same way that we are going through right now, because women were not respected, women were not allowed to vote. So we believe it's a matter of time. It's all about education. It's all about giving an accessible and rights where women can go to school, where women can at least decide where they belong to, because we have this cultures and expectations where even when you are born as a girl, you were assigned to. So we believe in challenging and empowering women, and economically, socially, politically, will be one of the ways that could deconstruct and unpack the cultural stereotypes and cultural expectations where women were assigned when they were young. Because it's all about the journey. So if you have a lot of women in politics, and you could at least see some individuals who look like you, who are in politics, who are in business, who are in other sectors of the community. So we believe in women empowerment economically and socially are one of the ways we could make sure that women's rights are respected, where culture, the negative side of the culture is challenging, because woman can be a housewife, she can be a doctor, she can be a politician, she can be anything. You should not limit the options of women only through being a housewife. Women can multitask just like any other human being.
Thank you so much. And there is another question from Amanda Tiara Devi. What is Solace for Somaliland Girls Foundation going to achieve next in the future?
So in the future, we are planning to expand our initiative, because currently we are only based in 3 districts in Somaliland. So we're trying to widen our network, go to the other parts of Somaliland, where also women are being caught, carry on our activities, start an anti-FGM clubs in high schools and university and universities, because we believe in the only way that we could eliminate or start the process of elimination of FGM is localizing the issue. So, for example, starting those anti-FGM clubs will make sure that students are aware of what FGM is, and they can at least discuss in publicly, the harmful aspects of FGM. So that's what we are trying to do, like expand our initiative, but also localize the issue more and more, because there are some rural areas where everyone in the village is being cut. Because at least now I live in Hargeisa, which is the capital city of Somaliland, because people are a bit educated and like some of them might not cut their girls, but there are some other parts of Somaliland where even you can't even talk about what FGM is, because it's a taboo. It's a very sensitive topic. So we're trying to go to those other villages and give platforms where they could at least get the education they need.
Thank you, Ubah Ali. Ubah Ali, you were listed in BBC 100 Women in 2020. So what were you doing when you knew that you were listed in that BBC 100 Women, and how did it feel?
Thank you. So honestly, how did it feel? Let me answer that question later. So for me, I when I'm doing something I'm passionate about women's rights, creating a more inclusive society, protecting minority rights, making sure that everyone is valued despite the color of their skin, despite the religion they believe in, because we are all equal at the end of the day. And so when I was also in Beirut, because I was there before the corona, in Beirut, especially in all Lebanon, migrant domestic workers are being treated really bad because their labor rights are not protected. Women are always abused sexually, verbally, emotionally. And whenever you're walking around and people see you as a Black person, everyone will just like, a lot of people will stare at you, many people will harass you, they will look down on you. So we started like a campaign where we raised the voice of migrant workers who were mainly coming from African countries, Philippines, Bangladesh. Yeah, so we started like making sure that migrant workers are being respected. We worked with local NGOs that supported migrant domestic workers. We used to teach them, sometimes do some workshops for them, make sure that at least migrant domestic workers are included, because I myself was discriminated, because a lot of people, when they see me as a Black woman, they will be like, oh, she's a migrant domestic worker. But when you tell them you go to American University of Beirut, they'll be like, oh, how do you married? Oh my God, like, they will change their assumption just because now you seem educated or you go to this fancy school. And I'm like, you shouldn't respect me because I go to this school. You should respect me because I'm a human being first. So I was just doing like a lot of like awareness and activism. And also I used to tweet a lot and write about it. And, at least even in my classes, talk about this issue, make sure the students in my class who do have domestic work would at least respect their domestic workers with respect, you know. And also I was doing the FGM activity. I was like everywhere. So, and I also did like a many interviews with the BBC, with other like media and outlets. So when they emailed me and they told me, oh, you were nominated to be one of the most influential 100 women according to BBC, I was like, I didn't even know the impact, honestly, the impact of this. Like, I was like, oh, okay, because for me, it's not about getting the recognition. It's all about making a real impact. And that's the most important thing. So when they were like, okay, I emailed them, I was like, oh, thank you so much. They told me to fill out a form. And when the list came out, I checked it, I was like, I have seen a lot of, oh my God, influential people who were on the list. I was like, God, why am I even in this list? Why am I in here? So it was like seeing like many strong women who were on that list, and just like me being there, I was like, oh wow. But at the end of the day, this and recognition was not only for me, it was for everyone who helped me. It was for every migrant worker in Lebanon or elsewhere who are struggling to make sure that they are protected, to make sure that they at least gain some decency of life or dignity from the community they live in. It's for every survivor of FGM who live in my country. It's every woman who struggled in daily basis, so at least her voice and her existence could be respected everywhere in the world. Because it's not, when you think about women's struggles and women's issue, it's not only the Somali woman, it's not about the domestic workers women, it's for every woman who works every day and who's trying to challenge the cultural expectations, the cultural norms, the cultural stereotypes. It's basically for every woman, honestly. And for my friends who helped me, for the co-founders of Solace, because as I said before, it's all about the impact, not about the recognition. And for me, that's the most important thing.
Thank you. And then what is the difference of Ubah Ali before and after getting the recognition?
So what's the difference? I think I'm the same. Honestly, because I like, honestly, because honestly, like, of course, it's important, like the recognition it's important, and you get like a lot of people like that wanted to know more about you and stuff. But at the end of the day, it didn't change my core values. I'm still fighting hard. I'm still continuing to make sure that the voices of these women and the rights of these women are protected. um yeah, so it's all about, making sure that you stay humble, that you continue your fight, and yeah, you stay local. That's the most important thing. So I feel like I'm the same, honestly. Like everyone who know me, I am there, like that Ubah who was there before and that. Because for me, of course, being one of these, a member of this influential woman is very inspiring because it inspires you to do more. Because like seeing how very strong, influential women were there, it encouraged me that I can dream higher, that I can aim higher, that I can be anything, but I should continue the same momentum, and I should believe in my core values. So I think I'm the same. It's just that it pushed me to do even more, so I could continue my fight.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Ubah Ali. And what message you want to tell to all of young people, particularly the women in this world that's watching us right now or later on after this live streaming?
My message will be, you better believe in yourself, and you should not let anyone to direct you or to reshape your own values, because at the end of the day you are unique, you are different, and you can contribute and impact your community or the world in your own way, or the way you envision that part of your community or the part of the world you are coming from should be. So my advice is that keep going, and keep the dreams that you have are valid, and make sure that even if you don't achieve, at the end of the day it's all about how much you worked hard and to achieve those dreams. So you know keep hustling. That's what I would say, because at the end of the day it's all about you, and it's all about the footprints that you leave for the next generation, so they can at least carry on what you started. And if you have an issue in your community, the most important thing is that you have to localize it, because we always expect someone else or international NGO or the international community to save us if we are coming from the global south. So make sure that you localize those issues. Make sure that you know that you could change those issues, that you could impact your community in your own ways. And when you do that, and like we will be in a better position. And you shouldn't even wait anything from the government, because sometimes governments are the ones who failed us. But when you think about the power of the youth, the power of of the society, they could impact, and they could at least create more channels of resources, of inspiration and empowerment for the people. So I would say, believe in yourself, believe in the deep power inside you, and yeah, everything will come easy as you go through. And make sure that you surround yourself with people who could inspire you every day, with friends that believe in your values and what you believe in. So yeah, that's what I would say. I know you are not alone, because all of us, everywhere you are, you will see young people who are struggling. So you are not alone. Even if you feel sad, make sure that there is someone else somewhere that's rooting for you, that's cheering for you. And I am, and I will be, as long as I'm alive, one of those people who will forever cheer for every single person who's trying to change their community.
All right. Thank you so much, Ubah Ali. Is there anything else you want to deliver to all of the young people watching us?
I will say thank you and keep hustling. That's what I would say.
All right. Thank you so much, Ali, for your inspiring story to share here with friends in JadiPNS. And we hope that you can have like a better career and education in the future and more impact for Somaliland girls and also for the world. You voice the voiceless, not only in Somaliland, not only in Africa, but also around the world. And also thank you for all of you guys who have joined us today and later on. And we hope that the story from Ubah Ali will give you inspiration or also motivation to change the world, to make a real impact. You localize and the issue, you address it, and then give the solution for that. Ubah Ali, thank you so much. That's inspiring.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to share my
Mhm.
story with you. And yeah, if you have any questions, if you want to know more about me, what I do, you can follow me on Instagram or on Twitter. And yeah, I will be more than happy to help you and to share my story with you.
Yay! All right. Okay. Again, thank you so much, Ubah Ali, and thank you so much, guys, for joining us. And me, Jaya Gulo from JadiPNS, saying thank you and hope to see you in the next program and the next speaker. Thank you so much.